master, special guests, Ruben Richard and gentlemen of Warrane. Ruben. Well, I didn't think we'd get to this point. At some point, people express their desire to move on from Warrane. For information, the words, "This is my last term," has been heard so many times that it's hard to believe that he actually means it this time. Notable quotes: "It's time for me to go, my friend," or "Warrane can't afford me," or one of my favourites, "Make me a tutor and I'll stay." When I asked Ruben to find someone to get to do his speech, he said to me, "I don't want anyone getting up and saying nice things about me." And I said to him, "There's really nothing that much nice to say." So from the beginning, I thank Ruben for actually asking me to get up here. Our friendship can be described as a roller coaster. We've had many ups and many downs. He's a guy who's actually defriended me on Facebook about 2 or 3 times. He's blocked my mobile number, and once he also refused to accept my friend request until I was hoodwinked by his blackmail. There's more to this guy than he lets on. But I have to say, I think I'm very lucky to have got to know this mysterious fellow. My first impression of Ruben in 2017 was that he was a little brown boy looking to take on the big dogs of the college, the ADs James Tudorhope and Joseph Hall. Ruben saw what he could be, potentially swinging the keys of the kingdom, sort of like Joe Chi but with a bit more spice. Ruben let me know that in his interview with Joe Hall, he was desperate for a place to stay. And when he was asked if he had any musical talent, he freely admitted to me that he lied, saying, "Of course, at a young age, my mother beat me into becoming a masterly trained piano player." James Tudorhope revealed to me today that Ruben claimed in the interview that he could bowl 140 km per hour and that he could spin a ball like Shane Warne. Ruben, the Prince of India. Ruben's the type of guy who sends emails to the Warrane office requesting that we lower his accommodation fees, despite spending most of his time in airport luxury lounges, sipping glasses of champagne, and enjoying the social benefits of being the heir to a royal inheritance in Mariatis Road, Chennai. Imagine having a road named after you. That's the type of privilege every brown boy like Ravisha could only dream of. Prince Ruben has a taste for fine dining, luxury cars, being part of the New South Wales Fencing Club, and expensive shopping, recently discovering the fabrics of Brooks Brothers. As Ruben says, "I get the best of the best." I once went into Ruben's room and found Donald Trump's How to Get Rich and something like Think Big and Kick Ass. And this is a guy who once told me that he doesn't like capitalism. I don't know, mate, what's like to do? Ruben, the politician. This brings to the life that I've had with Ruben, living on his floor with Dom Smith and as his tutor last year, or as he saw it, a dictatorship run by a big white guy and his small brown servant. I asked Dom Smith if he wanted to share anything tonight, Ruben, and he said, "Sorry, I really don't think I have anything positive to say." Dom said the first thing that Ruben said to him was, "I can bash you." Last year was a classic case of cat and mouse with Ruben. He often provoked Dom and I to switch between what was a year-long struggle of good cop, bad cop. Ruben used to run rings around Dom and I. Often he would ask Dom for a late dinner. He'd say no. He'd come to me. I'd say yes. By the end of the year, Dom and I had to admit that Ruben had basically played us both the whole year, and it was indeed a masterful Machiavellian devil. Dealing with Ruben was like dealing with a young toddler. There was a boiling point where one of the parents cracks. Now, I don't know about you, but Austin Davis has to be one of the most calm, gentle humans of the earth. So if you get Austin angry, you have to be a real pain in the ass. Austin comes to Ruben's room to try to get him to Yoga Berry Coffee Club, and Ruben, with a dead face, just looks at him and says, "No." Despite the attempts, Austin finally gave Ruben an earful, and some moments later, Ruben sent Austin one of the most deadliest messages I've ever read. He said, "My friend, this is the last time you tell me what to do. It will be very different next time." Now, I don't don't know what you can get from that, but the echoing menace of those words translated to action in a game that tends to bring out the snake in everyone, Assassin's Week. Some highlights of messages I received from Ruben in this week are useful in unpacking his very psyche. He said to me in one message, "Would you like to work together?" And then the next message, only maybe an hour or two later, was followed, "How's it being dead, mate?" with the devil emoji, as he conspired with the people to take me down. I realised in that instance not to cross Ruben's bad side, as one of the next messages was, "Just made my first kill, the blood tastes sweet." Ruben knows how to play the game. He's the type of guy who sets up lunch meetings with the president of the Young Liberals, and I've heard him many times over saying the words, "I should be the Dean of Warrain. Look out, Arthur." Ruben, the big dog. I'm going to say outright that there are actually many uni students who are very complacent and don't grab opportunities in front of them. Ruben isn't one of them. Ruben is his own boss and has acquired some professional prestige while he's been here at Warrain. Ruben's the type of guy who had a LinkedIn premium account when he was a team member of Harris Farm Market's fruit shop in Western Sydney. And for those who don't know, Ruben was notorious for not turning up to work, not calling the boss when he didn't turn up, but he ended up still running the shop. He's been a business strategy intern, completed a 3-month exchange in Scotland, and last year he also completed an international business winter school in Toulouse in France. He's been a project administrator in AV law in the city, worked as a research assistant, and currently working as a data analysis intern for UNSW and CAPA, the Centre for Aviation. You might wonder how a small guy like him gets to running the show, and I'd like to think that I've actually trained him quite well. To cap it off, Ruben is now an international student leader. Honestly, what a joke. He told me single-handedly that he went to the Secretary of Study in New South Wales to get UNSW to provide him with a $2,000 scholarship so that he'd go to Perth for a conference. Though, from what I saw on Snapchat, all he really was doing was enjoying the pool, the 5-star hotel, and riding bikes across the coast of Western Australia. Ruben says the secret to his ascent is a simple formula, and he says, "My friend, I call the shots." Ruben, a single brown boy looking for love. So whilst there are rumours of for once a Moroccan girl in France, Ruben has taken his heart closer to home. Many have heard of Ruben's eye wandering at the Good Friday Easter Mass. Neil heard him saying, "Look at all these beautiful creatures." Now, after Joe Chi told Ruben that one of the girls he was actually looking at was actually his sister, Neil let me in on some of the aftermath drama as well. So Joe Chi had messaged Neil that he was bringing his sister to the common room, but when Ruben found out, he was seen scurrying away to his room. A few days later, Neil was contacted by Ruben's dad on Facebook, Rex, with a Facebook message saying, "Please take care of my darling son." I can only wonder that maybe Ruben has told his parents about said beautiful creature, tormenting his heart, who he also described as ravishing. When I asked Ruben for an update, he said the ship has sailed and, "Look, it's hard to keep track of the women in my life." Ruben, a kind soul and personality. In our time playing ping pong, Ruben has consistently told me to refer to him as the King Ping, and our egos have only inflated the other's desire to one-up each other. But seeing him get fired up playing ping pong is a sight only those who go out of their way with him get to see. In these games, I got to know a guy who's very driven and gentle. Ruben, I think this year you could see that you've become very popular, and your presence is felt when you walk into the room. I can only laugh when I see you crawl into the main dining room at 6:44 p.m. when everyone's left. Whilst he has said to me, "People come and go," I can say that you have come, and I think you've done a bit more than you expected. I'm very grateful that you've stayed on at Warrain the time that you have, and you've actually let yourself be known to the few and many here in this room. To those who do know you, you've had the pleasure of being on the receiving end of your good humour, great chat, and razor-sharp wit. And I know you value being respected above all else, and you have that from me and many others in this room. I wish you best for the years to come, and I hope you will fondly remember your time here at Warrain. Thank you, my friend.